Okay, so now let us take that example and let us move ahead of implementing it. How to do it? Let us see. Okay, so here what I will do, new and then interface. Okay, and then I will say traffic. Okay, and now I will say green. And I will say public void yellow. Okay, if we have done it within the interface, we haven't seen any error. If you go to this again, this program, and do it like this, public void, right? It says add body. Okay, because this is or change doc.green to abstract. So it gave you two possibilities. We will talk about the abstract class as well, but let us move back to that. In mean just I want to convey that if a class is not an interface or abstract class, you must have to be body within that class. Okay, so it is must. So for interface, this is not uh, needed, and the reason why, you want to kind of encapsulate those implementation, from the implementation perspective. You are doing implementation in the back end, and you just have defined the interface, and the implementation we kept aside. And when you say that, okay, when the regulations is going on, when discussion is going on, for the compliance purposes, you are just telling about the details of the compliance. This is what you have to follow in general, and now it is the responsibility of the organization to have that. So overall, different organization had that flexibility. Different blanks has the flexibility if it is a bank, or in this case, different country has its flexibility to how they are making sure that the different the implementation of green signal or yellow signal or red signal, this is their responsibility. But at the same time, the regulatory authority will provide you a guideline that, okay, you have to do it. Okay, so public, you say go yellow, what you say in your yellow, what you do, um, yellow warning kind of, right, kind of that. And okay, so what interface does that, it has uh, provided you some guidelines. Okay, fine. Now let us create a function. Let us create one thing again, just a quick thing. In this particular case, there is no main function. You cannot run it separately. Okay, and also this doesn't have any body or anything. Okay, so now you define a Java class, and let us have this one, and then Traffic, no, traffic system. Traffic system, sorry. Traffic, not implement, right? I am implementing traffic system, right? So traffic implement. So now you see the keyword that is used uh, for uh, for implementing, for using this interface is key, is implements. Okay, so this is important to remember, because we will see another keyword related to abstract method, or so we will see that another than extends also. So there are two keywords here. So add unimplemented method, that's what it is saying. Make type traffic implement as abstract. So they are providing you two options. We will see what is what extract this thing is. Now what it has done is it added all those methods which was defined as part of this traffic system. So now, as for example, if you will see, if you will remove this and do control S, and then it will say add unimplemented method. So it is must to have all those methods added as part of this particular class. You can have your own method as well, public, void, and then you can have some other methods as well within this class which implemented a interface. Okay, these three are must. Whatever that is defined as part of interface is must, but along with that you can have more classes that uh, within this thing. Okay, so this is related to the interface. Okay, now let us move ahead and let us talk about the next concept related to Java and object oriented programming. But before doing a bit on object oriented programming in general, let us talk about some of the items, right? Some of the statements that we are going to use. Okay. Okay. So let us move ahead and let us create another class. Okay. Okay. Now let us talk about another some of the things. If it is like while, so int I is equal to 5, while I is less than 6. Simple. And then you let us run the program. because this went into infinite loop, because this I value of I is was 6, and then we went into kind of infinite loop, right? Now let us make it, and then there is this value, right? So, and else when you will come out, so this is while, okay, and then so we will wait for that condition, and then if we will come out, I'm more than 6, okay. So what happened that it checked the condition, okay. As soon as the condition is fulfilled, if the condition is fulfilled, in this case we moved out of it. But this is not the right example in this particular case, right? So because I know your value and something that, okay, so what we will do, int, let us say int I is equal to 0, and you say that I is equal to I plus 1, right? And now let us see what happens. Okay, so till that point you were there, you kept on me moving within the loop, and when I became 6, right, you came out of this loop, and it was printed that I am more than 6, and overall program is done. Okay, so this is what we do in case of while loop. Loop is when we have the repetition of the same thing. Okay, so this is about the loop. Okay, now let us comment it. This is what we will use to comment it. Okay, so comment multiple lines, and what happened? No, we have another. Okay, now the second thing is if else. Okay, so if I is equal to 0, okay, so basically what I just want to have a quick this is just a quick recap in general, that overall these are the different possibilities. So basically this is if else. When a particular condition is satisfied, then you do this particular task, else you will do this. In case of if else, we will not loop around. Okay, it is a kind of this condition satisfied, that's it. Okay, so it runs once only. So this is about if else. Okay, now one of the interesting data type that uh, that any programming language has, basically, and that is array. So let us talk about how array is implemented in Java, and what array is basically. So an array basically is a we talked about variables, right? Here there is just one, I has one value. Okay, Now they're kind of a similar kind of um, you can say group, right? A group is there, and within that group there are multiple items, and multiple items has uh, had some value associated with that. Now those items have same data type. Okay, so integer data type or float, whatever, but it is same. As for example, the in a class there are 20 students. All students has their age. So I want to keep the value of each student, uh, the age of each student in an array, and that array will be indexed based on the roll number. Okay, so whoever has the roll number, and each roll number will have that particular. So this kind of thing. So array is basically, yes, a data type where it is representing a list. Okay, so int array, and you will say class age, or not class age, student age, and then you can have your value like this: 2, 4. It is happening. Student is, it is fine, right? Why it is asking about okay, it's a bit like this. Yeah, just a mistake. Okay, so now there is an array, and then you say that for int I we have used already. Okay, Okay, j equal to 0. It is saying index 7 out of bound of length 5. Okay, so in case of array, the thing is that you cannot have uh, the value, more than the value of the array. Okay, so overall what we need to do is that student is length on, and then we are running this array basically, and then length is basically 5. Okay, so what we will do is that we will do it -1. Okay, so then it will not loop in, and then okay, now let us run this. Index 7, why it is taking index 7? 1 2 3 4 5, j equal to 0. Oh, I am doing a I. This is not I, this is j. Okay, so it printed it. The age of student 2, the age of student 4, the age of student is that, and then you can do, you can say, so you can represent in this way that age of student, and then you can say age of student, and this plus is to can concatenate. Okay, so when you have to concatenate based on any value of the variable, then you use this plus. Okay, so age of student, now if we need to do plus with plus with, or we can have it right, age of student with roll number, and then you say plus j plus 1, maybe, yeah, j plus 1, plus will not work, right, j, and then you say plus is. So now the roll number cannot be 0, so let me do one thing, int k is equal to j plus 1. Just I'm doing kind of a rough work here, and then if you will do here, you will see that, and then you can have your spaces here again, is, and then plus. Now let us make it a bit better. So we have the roll number, and with for each student, and based on that you have, now let us do, let us remove it, let us run it. We are missing one of the things. So now we got all the roll numbers of the students. So basically this is the way, um, this is the way string or array works. Okay, so now we talked about array. Let us talk about another variable. that is array list. Okay, so what array list is? Basically, we have seen this problem with array, that array has a limited size. Okay, so when you define an array, its size is also defined along with that. Now you cannot extend it. If you will do it, we have seen the error as well, right? Index out of bound exception we got. So to handle this problem, we have another thing that is called array list. So let us see what array list is. Okay, so we have seen some of the concepts in general. We will come back to to bit more detail on it. Let us go back to, let us see in our code. We have an end-to-end implementation. So we will talk about it. Okay, so how this is done and all. So basically in this implementation, Java Spring Boot application is getting used. Let us see that this application and then run as Java application. Let us see that how it goes, and we will talk about this. We will talk about some of the terms from up and running application, and we will, you know, work further on that, because for some of you this whole thing might be quite basic. You might have done Java before and you want a bit more from that. So we will start a bit early on understanding an end-to-end application, that how it is created and all. Okay, support 8080 is already used. Okay, let me change it. 3748. Okay, so that process ID, that process was getting used. Okay, now let us now run that application. Run as Java application.
Hello everyone, if you would like to access the remaining videos of this playlist of 50 plus more tools which are coming under DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, DataOps, GitOps, etc. Kindly become our channel members by clicking on the joining button. You would have access to hundreds of playlists and 1000s of videos lifetime access with this membership. Enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.